In California, stucco is everywhere. It's on most of the houses that were built in the 1900s, and it's in a lot of houses now. From old time houses like this that are cute and have been around for a long time to really fancy custom mansions with slate roofs and $1 million views, as well as in these model homes and these developments where you see them in the Central Valley or around California that have kind of similar Spanish style detailing. But all of these houses have one big problem. They all build what are called stucco buckets. And these stucco buckets are overhanging areas on the house on the exterior where the stucco wraps down a wall and then under an underpass or a ledge. And you see that at the top of this house, you see it at the top of these windows, you even see it at the entryway. Now, what's the problem with these buckets? Well, stucco has a drainage plane or a place where water can percolate through the stucco because stucco is not waterproof. It hits this drainage plane, which is typically tar paper with a bunch of staples through it. So it's not really a great water barrier. And it falls down that drainage plane. And then it goes where? Well, at the bottom of walls, we have what are called weep screeds. And these are drainage planes that allow that water to go out away from the house and drain into the ground. But we seem to have forgotten that the tops of windows and doors and all of these big openings also have places where they're stopping. So water is hitting these walls, coming down these wall drainage planes, and then stopping. Now, at least this house has a curve, so maybe the water will slow down and then go across the curve. But on the tops of flat windows and like over here and on these big overhangs, there's no place for that water to go. And we know when water slows down, water causes rot. And what you see is a lot of rot. Rot that'll just degrade all of the structural framing, all of the sheathing, and cause mold and mildew. And can be a really big challenge for people, especially with illnesses or pre-existing conditions or genetic modifications that make them more susceptible to mold-related illnesses. This is a big problem. So how do we deal with it? Well, first of all, and in general, don't buy spec houses. Don't buy prefabricated houses that are built by big developers. They just don't really pay attention to the details. They don't build long-term, long-lasting houses. They build houses as quickly and fast as they can, and a lot of times the details are skipped because the details cost extra money. And the model of a developer is make as much money as you can, building as many houses as you can, as fast as you can. So first of all, pay attention to the details. Get an architect or a designer that pays attention to the details. Now, what are those details going to look like? Well, this is one of those details here. In this detail by Assyri Designs, we see that we have this overhang that's been framed out in wood framing. We have the wall above that overhangs the lower floor. And what we see is we have a drainage plane behind the stucco, behind the material on the outside face. And it drains that water down. And then there's a gap at the bottom of that wall right here that allows that water to come out and flow away from the house and away from the window and the wall below. It doesn't get caught up. It doesn't force the water to slow down and divert to a different direction. This is going to protect this house for a long, long time. This is a great detail. And this is how every project should be built. And in fact, we see that in other projects, we're seeing other drainage planes. We're having conversations with the architects about making sure we never trap water anywhere in that house. And you can see here, while this is a metal siding, we see that this has also got a drainage plane down. And this little spacer right here is made out of coroplast, which is a drainage material. It's essentially like a corrugated plastic that's similar to cardboard, except it's plastic. It'll allow water to flow out of that thing, but it won't let bugs, especially if we put a bug screen in there. And so now we're protecting that corner of that wall. And we see this, we do it also over windows and doors. So you see here in this window section, we have this drainage up above here, and then we have this little metal flashing right there. And you see this drainage plane, that's coroplast. That allows that water to flow out of that cavity after it gets through that siding material. And it goes down here, and we have it protecting also the bottom of the window so that water gets diverted. We also do it with exterior doors where we have another drainage plane here. So we have our exterior insulation that's covered with the waterproofing, and then we have that coroplast at the bottom allowing that water to drain out. That's going to be really important for protecting not only these overhangs, but these windows and door heads. And so how do we do that? Well, In reality, what we're doing is we're covering the entire house with a waterproofing membrane right before we put in windows and doors. And we cover that waterproofing membrane on those houses, not only to air seal them, but to waterproof them. And then we do a really, really good job, almost paranoid level of good job of waterproofing that window and door. And you can see here, there's a ton of tape. And this tape is not just tape like masking tape. This tape is special tape that should last a long time and keep that water from ever being able to get in past that window or past the trim around the window. Now, what does that look like when we've actually put all that exterior insulation on and we're looking at the window or the door just before we put the siding on? And this is what it looks like in this project. This is the Bay Street Passive House. And we can see here that we've got these sleepers here, these things that shim out the wall to allow the siding to be attached to the building. But what they do is they give it a drainage plane, a much bigger drainage plane. This drainage plane is 3/4 of an inch thick. So water, even wind-blown water, can't get to the siding or to the exterior insulation. And we've actually gone one step further, which we talked about in previous videos, where we've actually put another additional waterproofing layer. It's almost a sacrificial waterproofing layer on top of our exterior insulation. You can see that here in this DuPont. So then the DuPont goes, the sleepers go, and then you see we don't have any board below here that's going to stop that water. That water is going to freely drain out of these chases and drop down. What we see is that we've just made this small gap in the trim, and that gap is filled with either like a Scotch-Brite material or like a stainless steel mesh that keeps bugs from going in there. And that drain right here allows that water to come out of that wall plane above the window. It never gets trapped there. It freely flows out, and it keeps that window or that door or even that overhang free of rot for the lifetime of that house. And we see at the bottom of the window that we're also making sure that we have a positive slope, meaning a slope away from the house that diverts any water that falls either against the window or onto the windowsill away from the house. And then we have this little drip edge on the outside that again pulls that water away from the wall so that it's never going to cause damage again. This is a lifetime wall, and this reduces the impacts of catching water anywhere in the house and makes sure that your house is never filled with mold or mildew from outside water, at least in the windows and doors and on the exterior envelope. We still have to worry about roofs and interior water leaks, but this is at least the best protection you can get for mold and mildew related illnesses and the massive consequential impacts of water infiltration in houses. We see from our projects at the Santorini house that house has completely had to be rebuilt. In fact, it doesn't look like we're deconstructing it anymore. It looks like we're having to build a brand new house. And that's because water wasn't managed correctly on that project. If you're interested in learning more about water management or about building science, please hit subscribe as we show you how to build a better way.